Hello everybody, welcome along to PSGL, here for the start of Season 26's evaluation races for the no assists boys. This is Grid 1, I'm your commentator Owen Wyatt, back in the commentating, hopefully the F1 tier. He's feeling generous to me again this season, and man, it feels good to be back. It feels good to have a which is why I'm not doing this season. Also means I get to reigning champion, by the way. And it feels like it's been absolutely. Of course, we've had a pandemic sort of ruin everything. It's good to be here anyway. Hopefully the streams. Let me actually just make sure we are all good here. Yes, we are all good. No one's bothered to watch, but that's not my problem. I'm still doing my job. Now, I've got to say, I'm noticing a lot of connection stuff here, and I'm sort of kind of really panicking that that's going to be a slight problem. We'll see what that's going to do. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work okay. I know this game has had a lot of connection problems. There you go, it's back. But I know it's had a lot of problems in recent times. But hopefully it works. You know, stick with us. We're gonna make sure this first race goes without a hitch. And yes, you notice I'm up early for once. I'm only with PSGL and super late. But you know, gotta be up bright and early. Day one of the season, pretty much for me anyway. And yeah, ready to go. So we'll have a 17 car grid here. There's a few little rules here we've always got to go through, and I'll get them up in a second. I'm just going to make sure the link is out there. Right, here are some links for people. Connor would like the link. Connor would love the link. He's getting it whether he likes it or not. Now I'm going to notice straight away that I'm going to be getting 0 comments, and I feel feeling that's more the PlayStation's fault. But still, if you are talking and I'm not seeing you, then sorry. If you are not talking because you're not here, then that's just not very nice. But yeah, just making sure the stream's working okay. Give us a second. Yes, it's all good. Right. I think I'm just going to wait this out until people actually show up, because no one else is here yet. I feel we're going to have a bit of competition. It's because I didn't get my one up first. There's 2 separate streams here, and a lot of people are going to be maybe going to the one that went up about 2 minutes before me. Oopsie doopsie. This better not get me fired. Please no. Thanks. Last thing I need is to be fired. But anyway, we're going to the lobby now. All these evaluation races, it should be pointed out, are going to be on Belgium. You are going to have to start on the soft compound tire regardless of what you're doing in qualifying. You have to absolutely qualify on soft. If you don't, you are in a bit of trouble, because we've got to have everyone on a level playing field. That's very important with, you know, allocations of seats, etc. for the season. On a level playing field. And you can hear me again now. Oops. And yeah, that's how that's going to work. We've got 17 car grid, as I said. And again, still sharing links. So there's a lot of people to share links to, okay? This is why I went up early, to make sure that I had all this out of the way. We got started. Right, hopefully the lobby all loads up quickly. Everyone should be choosing their soft setups. Because there's no point going for a conservative setup, is there? Everyone's going to be starting on the sauce. Now, there are a few rules, so we'll quickly go through them now. Obviously, Belgium, we're going to have a 50% race. Standard PSGL rules. Weather will always be clear. That means you'll get a good representation of how these guys are like in the dry. Damage will be off. Safety car will be off. That means that, you know, safety cars, etc. won't wreck a race with someone and ruin their chance of getting a good tier, because that just wouldn't be very nice. Setups are allowed, however. That's the only sort of thing we're able to vary here, which is fine. It's sort of, what can you do about that? Default setups would just sort of ruin it, I think. So I'm happy we got setups on. Now for pole position here, we're sort of expecting somewhere around a low 41 to high 40 from what I've been able to tell so far. And yeah, again, we'll sort of see how that all works. Now, we've got to get this out of the way now because I'm going to be very happy with this all season long. You've got no idea how much this means to me. Look, I can look backwards. I can look at his rear wing going up. I can look at Juice behind Gil. This is so good. I can even look to the side. Look, there's loads of fans who aren't socially distanced. And there's a corner. We can look at the apex there. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. So, yes, we've got camera control back. And that is very good. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way now as well. We've finally got camera control back. No, these evaluation races are not the only way of telling which tier these guys are going to be. Remember, this is no assist, this one, but there is another thing that is currently going on to, you know, see where everyone will end up in terms of tiers. Because we've had, I think, a record number of sign-ups this year. I think it's about somewhere in the 300, and so it's important to make sure everyone's in the right tier. So we've got these evaluation races, and we've also got some time trial challenges for these guys to do. They've got to set as fast as they possibly can on Spain and USA. Thank goodness again I'm not racing, because my god, USA is awful. Oh, it's horrendous. It's shocking. You have no idea. Well, maybe you do, but if you haven't raced it, you're not missing much. So yeah, Spain's not particularly fun either. The last sector is hellish. But here we go then. Gil is going to be heading around to set the first lap of the season. Now, well, for me anyway, you'll notice that these guys do not have custom numbers, and yeah, that is not Lando Norris, that is IGK_Gil. I'm not too sure why this is the way it is. It's one of Cody's countless glitches, I guess, on this game so far. There's a lot that's sort of wrong with it at the moment. We've got some patches coming for it soon. It's not really guaranteed to fix anything, but still. Gotta be patient with this, I guess, and I'm aware the stream's slightly struggling a bit. Don't really know why it's doing that. I've had a few things going on. I've had a PC being put in, I wonder if that's taking up internet. I have to work out all out. This is me evaluating myself at the same time, but hopefully you can all see everything okay. Sorry if you can't. Can't really do much about it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's very grainy. I might end up going down to 720p if I can. Just bear with me 1 minute. Can't do that. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? That's really annoying. I'm gonna find this. Hold on a minute. We'll do it another day. Right, so unfortunately you're gonna have to deal with some grid lines. Dithering, I think you call it. But yeah, you haven't missed much. We're at the end of Gil's first lap. Like I say, everyone might as well give it everything here. You can see the ERS is going to be a slightly different. Notice now that we've got no sort of modes as such. And each session, since we're online, we're not doing any practice sessions where you can go cycle through all the modes. In qualifying and a race, there's only 2 modes you're available to. In qualifying, that would be modes 0 and mode 2. Mode 0 is, I believe, just using no ERS whatsoever. And mode 2 is hot lap. So obviously on your lap you want to be using hot lap. And then in the race there is mode 1, which is, I think, low. Not completely none, but it's low. I think this is what it is. I could be a tad bit wrong. And then you've got mode 3, which is overtake. Overtake is hopefully a lot more usable than last year. Obviously, ERS, as you know, I've kept going on about how poor it was and how much it ruined the racing in some aspects. Hopefully it doesn't wreck this one. It'll be a good chance to see, because we've got plenty of straights here and plenty of chances to see just how this all works. That's why we sort of do this as well. Good way to see how the game's working. Danny, predictably, is fastest, isn't he? Of course he is. And a 1 minute 40.9. Sparks in second, Liam third, and Thyman in fourth. So that is, I guess, it's to be expected, isn't it? We saw some of these guys in the esports event a while back at the end of F1 2019, and yeah, most of the guys that did well there appear to be keeping their pace quite well. Let's just do a quick rundown of the grids we've got at the moment. Got my list here. We've got Danny and Sparks, followed by Gil, Liam, Darkbolt, Diamond, Jordy, Juiced, Luke. I wonder if you say that. Let's see that. I'm going to try and get this first time. Rinnernberg. Oh god, there's another bad one. Guy in 15th. How do we say this name then? Lak Lak Tolak. Lak Lak Toklak? I'm sure it means something special. But we got him. We got COS underscore Thomas. We got Bugatti as well. We've also got Lonnie 27. We've got Prima. I saw his name mentioned as being a returning name, but I haven't seen it before. We've got Super Mario. And we've also got Pablo Lek. So that's the grid for tonight. I believe they've all made it. We have got 17. Number 17 on my list. So I'll assume that everyone's gone swimmingly. And this is the first of these races. I believe we're going to be doing another one next week as well. I'm hoping to commentate that one as well. Obviously, yeah, you'll notice the differing, but we'll have this done at 7:20 next week. That's just something I'm going to have to deal with. My internet clearly is not strong enough, and that's really annoying actually. But nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. Just got to stick with what we got. Hopefully, it improves throughout the race event. Right then. Nuremberg. Okay. Well, that's the one we got. Nuremberg. I'm not going to call him Rinnerberg, just Nuremberg. That'll be difficult. So we're watching Nuremberg right now in Hulkenberg's old car. Obviously, Ocon's car now. Speaking of different cars, welcome to the Grid AlphaTauri. I know you're just Tar also with a new name, but still, welcome anyway. Lovely livery, must say. Looking very fresh on the grid. So that's nice. Good to see now. Yay. Right. Let's watch an onboard lap here and see how bad this looks on stream. So like I say, I was saying we'll be low 40 or low 41s and high 40s, and we're already into the high 40s on our first run. So we'll see how everyone else gets on. It appears that Radeon is much less annoying this year than it was last year. And that's good news because, yeah, you'll see a lot less cars up there. Doesn't stop me crashing there though. I did that in my league race last week. So, sign of things to come for me with that. But, yeah, much easier to not crash. That's just me being stupid, honestly. So don't need to worry about that. It should be okay, unless it rains, but that's not going to happen tonight, obviously. It will be clear. And even if they do lose it, there's no damage anyway, so you'll just lose a qualifying lap, you'll just lose a few seconds. Anyways, it looks like a pretty clean cut so far. Obviously, the thing is, it'll always look much better this lap than a 2019 lap, because the cars are so much more downforce, they're going so much more quickly, you can throw it into the corners much more. And it is very fun to watch it and just see, because the cars being so fast now means this grid should be super close. That is how it should work for everyone. I think a lot of people have been turning around saying this is going to be the closest F1 game yet. I'm not too sure we'll see it go that way. I think it'll be closer than last year, but I feel 2017 was quite close. Maybe that's just nostalgia or something, I don't know. But I always thought that would be a bit closer than this regardless, but that is probably just me. Lack of ERS modes, that always changed it for me. But Nuremberg into the pits. Lap over. We'll just call him Lack. Okay, we'll just call him Lack. I'm not going to say the whole thing because it'll be Lack, Tok, Lack. And it's just like, no, we're not going to call you Lack, Tok, Lack. That's invalid. Okay, we've got a lot of invalid laps going on here. We've got to catch one that is valid, please. We've got IGK Juice Night. We're not going to see this livery for too long. We'll be saying goodbye to the Silver Arrows in the coming weeks, I'm assuming. Obviously, they've now got the black livery. And a lot of these cars haven't got their full liveries on, and that's a spin. That is Juice losing it. So you can take a lot of speed with Poo on, but as it turns out, if you take too much speed, you will unsettle the car. We got McMahon in the chat. Hello, McMahon. I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing? Good to see the Irishman back in the chat. And the rest as well. I'm not ignoring you. I see you're all there. We're talking about VRT people. I guess we're seeing people already disputing people in different teams than they should be. That's not good news. But I'm not going to get into that. But, yeah. Laps. Can we see a fair, good, clean lap? Let's watch Danny. He can't Let's watch Sparks. He can't mess this lap up. It's all been going well. I must say, by the way, this Red Bull must be one of my favourite cars in the game. I don't know, the rear end, it just looks so tightly packaged, and for some reason, it looks so good. And the front as well, so tight. I've always liked the Red Bull. Even on board, I've always liked this car. And I've got to say, loving it. Although, Renault might still look a little bit better to me. I never thought I'd like the Renault too much. But there you go. I like Renaults now. hate the team, but I like the car. I like the drivers. So there you go. Anyway, sparks to the line. What's the lap going to be? It's going to be fastest by 600 of a second at 1 minute 40.844. Feynman out of last corner. He's up, but maybe only by enough to get into P3. Let's see. Yeah, P3. Weird hearing different engine sounds coming out of these as well. We'll get used to that, I'm sure. We've got Geordie. I mean, you can see how much speed they're taking. They're almost actually running at the top of 7th, even early 8th. I'm sure some would try that. And that sort of multiplies the problem if you get it wrong. Last year it gets wrong, you're having a scary moment. This year you're having an extremely scary moment. But all I can get so far is that Geordie is down, but there's plenty of time, I'm sure, to be fine in the final sector if he can nail this all. And currently running P6, we've got 6 minutes to go in the session. People here out there, I guess, they only get to get one more run after this one. If they're in the pits, they might just fancy staying there for a while. No point going out at the moment. But round the final corner, Geordie to the line. What's this time going to be for him? P5, he gained by a tenth, 1 minute 41.4. I'm seeing nothing with the graphics. They seem a lot more full send on the actual F1 graphics this year, which is nice. I'm a fan of that. That's on 0 ERS. I'm not going to watch that. I'm liking the graphics a bit more. I mean, and they can always do more with it, but I guess we can take what we got, really, can't we? I believe we've also got AWS graphics coming in. AWS graphics for pit stops only. Maybe not the best thing in the world, but when the pit window opens, you'll see a lovely graphic on the right-hand side of your screen, I believe. And listen to those downshifts. You know, I heard a lot of people say this about the Renault. It has some very sexy sounds, and it's just, oh, loving it. Slow racing points up there ahead. Could well be Puma, wouldn't it, on his abandoned lap. Hopefully he can move out of the way. He does indeed. Doesn't ruin any laps there. Good stuff. And currently top 10 separated by 1 second at the moment. Only 13 valid times on the board of the 17 drivers. That's both AlphaTauris, Renault and a Mercedes yet to set a fair time there. So that's Juice, Nürnberg and Lack and Piablo. Yet to set times. That'll be pressure at the end. And Nürnberg low on fuel now. Is he going to maybe think of abandoning this lap and having yet another one go without a time? Or is he just going to stick this on the board and hope for the best? Because this will be really pushing it to get back to the pits and set another time. He was P3. That could well be good enough for a decent grid position if we don't see too much track evolution at the end. Right up there, just over a tenth of Sparks lap. Now Danny has just started a lap. Now we can trust Danny to not mess this up. I know he messed up the last one, but we can trust that Danny will get this one right this time. But watch him giving his full focus in his Alfa Romeo, which I must say is looking so good this year again. One of the best liveries on the grid. Loving it. Looks great on board. Hope you're all liking the onboard cameras, by the way. I think I spent a lot of time. I could have been doing many more things. I spent like an hour making these good, and honestly, that's just how lockdown's been. You spend way too much time doing really pointless things, but if it makes your viewing experience a little bit more authentic, a little bit more like the television, then that's good. Not that you'll be able to compare it to the TV cameras at all, because they always change, but still. All looking good so far, though, on this lap for Danny. Sadly, we don't get to see the delta down the bottom of the screen. Obviously, these guys, they get a delta when they're going round. They've always had it like that, and they can see, you know, improvements throughout every corner, and so we're seeing for every sector. And it's good to see that Danny's up at the moment, but it would be nice to have that alive updating graphic on the side. It would be nice to just have a little bit more of the official graphic for that bit. And I like the text being a lot more official and a lot more pronounced, but I would very much like to see a few more things added as well. But it'll be getting more to nitpicky, wouldn't it? And it's out of the final corner. Danny to the line. This should go fastest, but how fast will it be? It is a 1 minute 40.692 on the left. I'm going to go with the one on the left and the bottom of the screen. The one on the right said something different, but it's only about 1,000 different anyway. It's fastest regardless. Right, Lack on a lap at the moment. Into No Name. I believe it does actually have a name. No one knows it, or no one bothers to say it because it's much more easy to call it No Name. Who has a name now? And that's very high on the curb, and that is going to be very unsettled. And you can see how the car was just sliding through. Not much grip there when you touch the curb still, and that could be a lap sort of ruined. We'll see his split. Well, he hasn't even got a split. He hasn't set a proper time yet. He's sort of got to go and just hope this is good. Hasn't got a fuel light on, so he might well be planning to go for 2 runs anyway. But it's certainly not the way to do the first one. Right, then. Everyone's on night laps now at the moment. A couple are starting a lap. I see Gill has started one, so we'll follow him. He's in the middle sector, I believe, at the moment. And, well, Lack is going to start this race with no qualifying time. If Juice can just set one, he won't be starting last, guaranteed. Gill, let's see how he's getting on. He's also having a bad one because he's invalidated it. And lots of invalidations going on. This is something that will be quite a prominent feature throughout league racing, really, won't it, this season? And it's Juice there running the 70th anniversary helmet design there. Nice. Love to see that on his Mercedes there. Born in 1950. You wouldn't think F1's 70 years old, but there you go. Now this is a pretty decent middle sector. I think that's relatively close to what Danny was doing. So if Juice can hold this lap together, this could be a top 3 time. It could even be a top 1 time. Let's see. Through the final chicane. The bus stop, which isn't really a bus stop anymore, but they're still going to call it that because it's easier to identify. And hopefully Gill doesn't get in the way. He moves over just in time. Still 40 seconds to get to the line. It might hinder the start of his lap, but at least he will get a lap in. Juice goes P2. Good lap. Sparks now, at the end of the first sector, is down by 6/100ths of a second at the moment. And we'll see how he's getting on in the middle sector. I'd like to hope that there's less lag, by the way, on the stream. I'm noticing that it's lag a little less for me. I know you'll have to deal with the differing. That's just the internet cannot handle, I guess, 1080p. Like I said, we can sort that. Luke retired, by the way. That was happening during Juice's lap. He's currently P8. He had done 2 laps on that last run, so I guess maybe he was just happy with that. Danny, again, retired. What else was he going to really be able to do? He was probably on his way back to the pits anyway. We've got an AlphaTauri. Pablo going really slowly. He's going to end up with no time over. Both of the AlphaTauris are going to have no time. Not the best debut for the team then, is it? But Sparks, he's up, but not by enough to go P1. Just has to find a couple more hundredths of a second. The checkered flag is out. We've got a Ferrari coming right now. It must be Darkbolt. He's the only Ferrari on the grid. Also got a Williams as well. We'll see those times when they pop up, how the improvements are for both of them. But Sparks is the man to watch. Will he put himself onto the front row? Will he put himself to P1? P2 then. Lost a bit of time in the final sector, but still a relatively decent time. Liam there goes into P6. Darkbolt didn't improve. I don't think Bugatti improved either. Time into the line was up and ends up P5. I'm not sure if it was invalid or he just didn't improve enough to go up a position. And Puma is in the gravel trap. He's in the top 10. Mind you, it doesn't really matter that. Everyone's going to have to start on their tyres, but at least he hasn't set a competitive lap time on these, so he doesn't have to worry about using a scuffed set of tyres that have been through a gravel trap. But yes, I'm happy enough to say that my... Well, can we call that a high rather than a mid 40? Just for my sake. I think we will. We will. I don't think you can... Don't argue with me. Right. Now, one thing I've noticed, and it happened in my league race last week, I should say. This timer is going to count to 0 regardless of what you do. Maybe it was a glitch when it happened, but I think you'll find that Juice goes into the garage here, and luckily he's retired. I think it'll push you into the garage, and even if you don't retire, it just keeps going. If you don't retire, it'll just keep going, and luckily they've realised that. So, grid then. Danny on pole. How many times are we going to be saying that this season? He's already putting himself right in the frame to be dominating this F1 Championship. And we're only in the evaluation stage. With Sparks nice and close. That's good to see on one of the longest, in fact the longest track on the calendar. That is a sign of things to come for the season, if indeed he gets F1, which he should. Juiced in P3. Strong performance there in his qualifying. Happy, I'm sure he'll be with that. Off Danny. Nuremberg in P4. Quarter of a second off. Simon very close to him in P5. Then Liam in P6. Gill. And then Geordie, Luke, Lonnie, Puma, Super Mario, Thomas, Darkbolt, Bugatti, Pablo, and Lack, the 2 AlphaTauris with no time. And this is all no assists, by the way. This is these guys fully intending to go into the higher tiers on a Monday night. And remember, it'll all be dry conditions. That's to help keep this nice and consistent. Don't be messing about with wet weather because it can sort of skew an evaluation race. That's why there's also no safety car. Now, I'm sure for the other races, it was mandatory to start on the soft. I think it's the same here. I'm not 100% on that, but I'll quickly look that up while we're waiting for this all to come up. I can't find it. I guess we'll see what they all start on. If they don't start on the sauce, then we'll just go with that. But if they do, then I'm right. Now, I want to say, I'm pretty sure the figures for the sign-ups this year was into the 300s. I don't think we've ever had that before. Even today, I've noticed that when these evaluation races have been starting, this channel, have you noticed the subscriber count? It's absolutely shooting up. And we've gained a good 20 in like the last 2 hours. The hype around this league for this game is really, really... It's great. I'm very happy to see the league doing this well, and I'm very happy to see that there's so much traction being gained after all the success we had with the esports event, and it's just in general. Oh, that's in the wall, or is that just heavy? In general, we had the esports event, season 25 as a whole. Really, just we're making a lot of ground at the moment, and we're just we're establishing ourselves as the biggest PS4 league in the world. Sorry, AOR, but I think we're doing quite well. I think we're doing very well indeed. I mean, we have some of the best grades in the world as well. So, yeah. Good to see the amount of traction here. Now, do we believe these? I think we should. From what I can tell, those strategies are generally accurate for tracks like this. They don't show up very long, but you saw predicted pit strategies there. It was one stop to mediums or to hards, whatever one you choose. But, yeah, it's pretty obvious it'll be to the mediums, won't it? There's no damage. There's no reason to pit early with damage or anything. If you have a spin, what are you going to gain for a pistol? There's no safety car to get you back in. So it should be everyone doing soft to medium here. But yeah, really loving the feedback we've got from the start of season 26. I know I've had nothing to do with it, but the fact that so many people have signed up and subscribed and have got well into it. If you haven't subscribed, just on that, I guess, do subscribe. Put your notifications on. It really does help us out a lot. I think during the esports event we had like 60% of the viewers weren't subscribed. Sure, some of them did eventually subscribe once we told them off. But certainly, going to season 26, you're not going to want to miss a single race. And there are the strategies again, just to remind you, lap 8 to 9 or lap 7 to 9, depends on what tire you want to go on, although frankly you can probably do it on lap 7 for the mediums as well. Now, let's see, who do we all think is going to win now? We've heard Tim Venting, we've heard Callum as well saying about Timon winning, or Juiced winning in Tim Venting's case, he had 2 up there. We've got Callie there saying about Nürnberg will send it, maybe not winning, but yeah, let's see. I'd be interested to see who wins this one. You'd expect it to be Danny, really, wouldn't you? But, we'll see. We'll see. So the grid then, lining up. It's funny, because you've got the start lights sound effect, I think, on this. And they've done it at the exact point that F1, I think, have just removed it from their start. You'll hear it in a second. But as LAC lines up on the grid, 17 cars here for the start of the evaluation race. The first no assist evaluation race. 5 lights ahead of the drivers here in Spa. Lights out, away we go. Looks like a pretty decent start there from Danny. Ignore those 2 AlphaTauris, they are at the back. Danny into the lead, and we've already got Juice going for P2, and I'm pretty sure we've got a lot of ghosting going on. Not too sure that's because you can't do any damage or anything, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on. We'll just watch it and see what happens, shall we? Danny in the lead then, from Juice, Sparks, Feynman, and Gil, your top 5 as we head up the hill. And hopefully those 2 AlphaTauris can please get off the screen, because that's going to be really annoying. But look at this, we've got Juice now being overtaken by Sparks, and the Sparks got good enough speed to have a go at Danny up towards turn 4, I don't think. Is it turn 4? I don't know. No time for mouse. Le Com, we'll just call it Le Com. There we go, AlphaTauris moved on. So we've got a few yellow flags now, that's not good news. No, obviously no damage, and I believe that's for Lonnie. It's Lonnie at the back there in the Renault. He's falling down. I saw a bit of squabbling going on. I'm surprised that Sparks was confident enough to go for that. He must have used some of his overtake button. And you'll see how these percentages look. We'll see how many used them on the first lap, how many decide to save. You can see already a few are saving. They're keeping it in the 80s and 90s, some into the 70s. I think one was even in the 60s, and that's contact. 2 cars, 3 cars, 2 Williams, a Ferrari. And that is Bugatti, Thomas Darkbull, and almost as well, I think one of the AlphaTauri must have been like Lack was involved there. I think he had to slow down, maybe not involved in the contact, obviously no damage regardless. But that's a tough start to their races then. That was contact through Pouon. Trying to go a bit too much speed in there, even just trying side by side. Not the best idea on lap 1, is it? And, well, we've seen how that can end. And we're still side by side with all these guys. We've got plenty of action near the rear of the field. Not too much maybe at the front of it yet. We'll wait till DRS goes through, and Lack's just been absolutely bullied out of the way. And now we're seeing Darkball trying to have a go on Bugatti. Hopefully there's no contact this time when a Ferrari tries to pass Williams. And in fact, Bugatti's just letting him through. Maybe that's him taking responsibility. I'm not too sure what that's all about. But let's go back to the front. I really hope we're not going to show us this every lap. We really do not want. We do not need to see it every lap. Game. Thank you very much. News. Please stop doing that. I need to keep the stream up, or else I'll get fired. DRS is not enabled. It says it's lap 3 now. That's not right. That's why he's not using DRS. Ignore the graphics as per usual. It's all going a bit crazy. Things are not going well at the moment on F1 2020. Danny's the leader. Okay, Danny, I swear he's the leader. It's all going wrong. This isn't me that's causing this. Internet doesn't cause these types of issues. The Codys are having a mare at the moment, unfortunately. The general lap 2 chaos on the timing screens appears to be much worse than it was last year, but it's fixing itself in the middle sector, and well, it's trying to fix itself. Jordy already has a 3-second time penalty. He's down in P9 at the moment. He's got that going into Pouon. Pouon seemingly being one of the flashpoints on this track for difficult track limits. In fact, pretty much the entire track is difficult for track limits now, because this game have made track limits a lot more strict. They've made it so that basically you so much as, I mean, you can still be within the white lines and get a warning. That's how strict it is. In some tracks and some corners, you don't even have to fully do the track to get a warning. That's sort of where we are. And the thing is, these can't really be removed, right? Because, well, you'll get loads of them, but you guess you're gonna have to get used to it, I guess. But it's much more strict than we've seen before on previous F1 games. That's why we're seeing a lot of invalidations in qualifying. It's why you were seeing a lot of things go wrong with penalties early on in the race. I think all the time is going to fix themselves. Yes, it is lap 3 for the second time in this race. But this time, it is going to stay lap 3 and then go to lap 4. Not lap 5. I hope it can count. Sparks not using his overtake button. He was using it a bit in the third sector to keep up, maybe to get to the DRS, but maybe he's got to try a different approach, because Danny has still got more DRS than him. Jace is there in the background as well. In fact, all of the top 10, 11 actually are in DRS of each other. Good to see that. Nice and close at the start. We tend to see quite a lot of DRS trains on the last game. We'll see what that's like on this game. It does just depend really when they use ERS, doesn't it? Because when you put your ERS onto overtake, it is a humongous burst of speed. It's not like a tiny little push. You will feel that. It's like using DRS. And you can imagine DRS plus the ERS will make, you know, it's effectively a double DRS. So that's sort of what that'll feel like. And that should mean these trains should be, you know, just be overtaking within them rather than just sitting there waiting for someone else to make a mistake. We've kind of got the whole top 12 in there, and well, the rest really aren't too far behind it, are they? Of course, it's early days. It's early days, so we'll see how that all pans out. In fact, Simon has just fallen outside the DRS detection point. Maybe he broke late and got into it. We'll see. He is within a second now. Let's see, does he get DRS? No, he doesn't. So he's now outside. It's the top 3 exclusively in their own fight. And there's a Mercedes wide of Luke on the exit. Maybe a bit of a slide. Traction does tend to be a bit more difficult. You find that it's easier to start on the tyres to get them up to temperature, get them working, push them. You think, wow, these have got plenty of grip. This is fantastic. And then just randomly you'll exit a corner and it'll just all be completely gone. That's what these guys are going to have to contend with in this race. Don't be too surprised to see, honestly, almost random looking spins when someone just spins it for no apparent reason. It tends to happen. Tyres overheat as well a lot more easily on this game. Tyre management is going to be a lot more of a thing, I think, in some particular tracks. But this should be one of those tracks, honestly. But we'll see how that all works. So Timon now is maybe going to find himself under a bit of pressure. He's got 4 cars in close proximity of him, and he is not going to be getting any DRS anytime soon unless the top 3 start fighting away. Who's got fastest lap then so far? Let's see who set the fastest at the early pace. Of course it is Danny. You'd always wonder if someone in the midfield could have some pace to go for later on, but no, Danny is the leader on track, and he's also got the fastest lap, which is something which is boding well again for him. Pablo has been off on the exit of Pouon towards, I think it's the Fania chicane, this one. I always forget the name of this one. I think it's the Fania chicane. Well, he's made it there, but very slowly. And when you have a spin, again a bit like the last game, you're going to have to nurse the car back on the full throttle and up to full speed very easily, because these tyres will be cooking right now. And you've got to hope that you don't, spin it even through here. It's very easy to do. And I think he should be able to cool those tyres down on the way to the bus stop chicane. He should be okay. Darkbolt has got a penalty, but look at this. Sparks a bit of a wider entry into La Source, trying to give himself a good run on towards the Lecom braking zone, although it looks like Danny's pulling away quite well. That might just be through genuine straight line speed. Maybe he was using a bit of ERS on the exit, but here comes Sparks. DRS. Overtake not being used. I'm not seeing anyone really using their overtake. I'm wondering if it's not actually showing up on the graphic, because you'd expect them to be using it. I mean, they are using it, so they are using the ERS. It just isn't showing me that. I'm going to turn the graphics off and on again, you never know. But unfortunately, it's not going to show me ERS when it's being used. But I think you can maybe guess. There was a car in the gravel trap there. I'm wondering if it was Super Mario. But yeah, that's a bit frustrating. So we're going to have to guess when we're using ERS. I guess when you see a massive burst of speed as you fly past someone on the straight, that should be a pretty good sign that ERS is working. But anyway, that was Gil going on to P4. I assume he used ERS to get there. Puma has got a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, well, if we're going to lose the game, we're getting very close to the start of the pit window, just a couple laps away from it. Lap 7 being the first opportunity to pit for really anyone in any scenario. I mean, we don't really know what the undercut will be like on this game yet. I guess with what I said earlier, tyres when you pit the ball makes you feel really good, and eventually they'll hit a cliff in a few laps. But I guess you can feel confident to push them early on, so maybe someone could make an undercut work pretty well in such a long lap as well. But we're on to lap 6 now. Is Sparks looking to make a move at any point soon? Looking in his mirrors, seeing he's clear, pushing on through, and there we go. We can see overtake being used now. Causes a bit of lag, however, when that happens. So overtake is lagging the place out. That's weird. That's a bit concerning, isn't it? But yeah, DRS though, we can see him using that, and that is absolutely in operation. I don't think he is using ERS there. I wouldn't be expecting him to be closing that slowly with ERS not being used. It's so difficult to tell. Simon there nearly fell out of ERS or DRS range, and I think he just had side of Gill. He's just about hanging on in there, but he will eventually, I'd imagine, lose out. He seems to be struggling a bit in these early stages. He's used quite a lot of his ERS. He's really quite got the pace to hold on to the top 3 or the top 4, and it could end up being he can't hold on to the top 5, 6, 7. It'll be interesting. Maybe he'd be one that would fancy an early pit stop, pit early, save a bit of ERS, free track to himself, get a move on. We'll see how that one works out. Danny still leading this race. He's led it from the first lap, from the first corner. Never really lost the lead at all. In fact, he set the first fastest lap of the session in qualifying and has led it from start to finish so far. Very early on, of course. And remember, no damage or anything. And we've got an undercut. Sparks is undercutting. I was wondering if someone were going to do it. I'm wondering if we're going to see Feynman in as well. No, we actually see Gill in. That's okay. And I honestly expected Feynman. He was struggling a bit. These should all be for mediums. And this one certainly is for Sparks. Mediums go on. And we'll see where he comes out. Let's see what sort of traffic he ends up in. Right on board. Yeah, so he's P10, but the space looks pretty nice for him. He's not quite in DRS of Lonnie, but eventually he would catch him, and hopefully he does that in a good place. Like I say, maybe undercutting on this game could end up being something that ends up being quite useful, because since you save ERS in the pit lane so much, you could overtake like mad on the way out and just blistering sectors on your out lap, and that could just work, especially if you can fire the tires quickly. This ERS usage system could be a real game changer for strategy. We've got yellows. I think it's Pablo again, his second off I think of the day. I saw a few cars dipping on the grass on the exit of the Lacombs complex, and this time clearly someone finally lose it there. Obviously Pablo lost on the exit of Pouan towards the Fania chicane. Maybe just needs to calm it down a bit. A long race, less mistakes as well. When you're being evaluated so closely, you got to make sure that you perform well. Now Danny has to cover the undercut, but as I'm saying with overtake, you know, the amount of energy that Sparks might have been able to use in this lap could cost him, but if he's used it effectively, and he'll get DRS on Lonnie as well. He's hitting him! Well, as long as he doesn't get a penalty for that, he should be okay, because obviously there's no damage. He's just pushing his way through. I guess he's seen that and thought, I could be nice and aggressive. Pit window's open. It's gone over the map. That's useful. Well done, Cody, for that fantastic placement. And let's see, will Sparks get the run on Danny? He saved his ERS until now, actually, on the exit of turn 1 to use it. He'll fly up the hill, warmer tyres. Danny might have to lift a little bit, and he's certainly looking a bit slower. And Sparks, if he wants to lead this race, this could well be his best opportunity to take it. It's Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment. Danny's waving to get his tyres heated up and to show he's not going to let Sparks through easily. Taking the very wide line on the entry, throwing it in there, and Sparks has got no way through. And Juiced is right on Gill. Gill appears to have jumped the Mercedes driver, the IGK man, ahead of the IGK man. But it's McLaren ahead of Mercedes as it stands. That should be, like I say, a net third position for McLaren. And that is a very strong performance so far by him. They've been wanting that, absolutely. I think these two were teammates in the esports event as well. They did relatively well. They were getting better and better throughout the season. And well, these guys could end up being relatively good in the F1 Season 2 if they make it there. So it's good to see all the usual suspects, I guess, are sort of keeping all of their pace. I mean, some people always say, oh, it'd be nice to have a wee mix-up, but honestly, I don't mind seeing the top guys stay at the top, because it does mean that you're going to see the best drivers doing their best, and it actually being worth watching. Imagine if Louis turned up as an F4. You know, he's still good, but it's not that good. He's lost a bit. So yeah, good to see these guys are holding on to their pace. Not like me, I've dropped like a stone. But anyway, it's not about me, this is it. Last two in the pits from the softs. That's where we started on. Obviously, we've still got Lack, who's going to probably do another pit stop in this race, but that should be the only other pit stop we get in this race because there's no damage or anything. Don't really know why Lack actually pitted. I assume he's pitted. He's on 7 out of all medians. I don't understand what else he could have done. Mind you, with all the timing shenanigans that were going on lap 2, who knows really what was going on. Again, Danny with the weaving. Obviously, this little trick got him a 5-second time penalty in round 4, I believe it was, of the Esports Cup, as Juice gets himself back ahead of Gill. He ended up second when he should have really won. He did that saying move twice on the straight thing, just to break the toe, and the stewards decided to call it defensive moves, so that meant he had moved twice. Does anyone agree with that penalty? I'm sure they probably do. Are they mental? Yes. Simon gets a penalty. And saying that we've got Nürnberg and we have Simon, to be fair, all on this. So this fight for third could get spicy. Has to be said though, we are sort of seeing these trains that I feared. Breaking up a little bit, but it always seems to be groups of 3 or 4 at the moment. It would have been a group of 3 once upon a time, but Juice really did just have a shocking set of laps. He's fallen completely off the top 2. But yeah, it's an interesting trend that we're seeing right now with these trains. And then there's the poor Alpataris. Oh, poor Alpatari. Right at the back, right at the back. Right then, let's enjoy the luxury of a rear view camera as we see Sparks closing in from behind as we start lap 10 of this race here in Spa, the first evaluation race on no assists. And you can see really that Sparks, it's weird. He can go for it whenever he wants, but that sort of tells me that as long as he stays this close, he's comfortable to go for it whenever he wants. Like maybe now, for instance. I mean, look at that. It's not at him, is it? You can see he's not using his ARS effectively. I would have them both using it at the same time, which negates it for both of them. But Gil, no way through. Nuremberg getting right up close, but still no way through. Camel Straight doesn't seem to be long enough for overtaking, funnily enough. It's hard to tell what they're doing with it. It doesn't show us though, so hard to tell. That's really just really over conservative on the ARS, or if everyone's using the ARS, or if it's just the way the track is and everyone is, and so it sort of negates the fact that you're in DRS, it just doesn't do anything. I don't know. I really don't know. But Feynman is alright on this now. But is there any way through? Don't forget, as always, while we're at the halfway point, might as well plug a bit. Subscribe. Notifications on. This is only the start of season 26. So much more racing to come. Yes, it does look like I'm watching a share play. Better quality streams to come as well. Can you hear me alright? I mean, as long as you can hear me alright and I can, tell you what's going on, then obviously we can sort out quality of the streams, etc. for next week. I might have to try LAN cable instead of just Wi-Fi. LAN cable tends to be slower, but maybe it could be more stable. I'm not sure. It always seems to be very unreliable there. But like I say, liking. Does liking do much? I don't know. Only one way to find out. Like, and we'll see what happens. Subscribing as well for better quality streams and for obviously season 26 as a whole, notifications on, so you can watch your favourite tiers and know exactly when they're coming on. In case you're having a busy day, you forget it's on, you get notifications, you think, F1's back. Owen Wyatt's back in the commentary box. Oh, beautiful. Fantastic. So do please subscribe, it always helps us out, and we're a growing league. Let's grow together and let's make this the best league in the world. And we've done 11 laps of padding so far. We haven't so much as seen a good fight yet, really, from what anything we've seen has sort of been on the Camel Straight, hasn't it? Very interesting to see how this is panning out. I mean, Danny's really pulling away right now, and he's still got more ERS than Sparks. Sparks maybe taking a bit too much out of the tyres in the early stages, potential overheating going on at the moment. Although I'd be surprised if the mediums overheat that quickly. Only 4 laps of use. But that is how they are at Spain, to be fair. Danny fastest lap, yellow flags again for Piablo, his 3rd spin of the day. Really having a torrid time for AlphaTauri. Shame for the team's debut. Sort of. I mean, the only way's up right here, but luckily for him, there's a second evaluation race if he can get in, although we probably can't. I think the reason there's 2 weeks worth of that is that there's 300 drivers looking to get a tier, so yeah. Could be scenes for him right down at the rear of PSGL. I mean, we don't really know if his pace is bad or not, he's just making mistakes, that's the problem, unfortunately. Now, obviously, Dark Bolt and Super Mario and Puma, we're having a fight, folks. There is a fight on the track at last. And we've got Puma on the outside in P10. We've got Super Mario on the inside in P11. You've got Dark Bolt trying to get the 2 of them. He's looking, he's waiting to see, where can I go? Here he is behind. There's Super Mario ahead in P10. It doesn't really work. And there goes Dark Bolt on the inside. Bit of contact. but through into P11, and this is pushing him around the corner. That's where we saw Darkbolt and the two Williams collide, and luckily Puma and Darkbolt haven't gone around in the same sort of fashion. But Puma was P10 a moment ago, it's now P12. Piavolo with a 3-second penalty, but like I say, obviously, spins aren't the end of the world in these events actually, because you can look at lap time. All these guys have been told to screen record or just even screenshot all their lap times from the race. That means that even if you had a tricky race, what's your average speed like on all your clean laps? What's the speed like on your in general? And that's mainly what they're gonna use to determine sort of who ends up where. Hello, Thomas. Nice to see you in here. Not much is happening, unfortunately, but still, better be subscribed. Better have your notifications on as well. You need to be helping us make this the best league in the world. Right, here we go. We've got Nuremberg on the back of Gil. Oh, this is so handy. You have no idea how nice this is to have. And there we go. That is broadcast quality stuff right there, apart from the actual quality itself, which is differing. But still, there we go. That's Nuremberg into P4. But like I say, to quickly summarise, like I say, again for the third time, TT times and average lap times in races are more sort of important than, say, Piablo's had their spins. That's fine, honestly, if he has good race pace for the other 19 laps, I think. Sorry, it's a very long-winded way of explaining it. Spins might not be F12, but it might be F12 if he doesn't have any speed with it. Right, and so, question. Will Nuremberg be able to catch up to Just? Sparks has fallen completely off the back of Danny, unfortunately, who looks to be checked out. So we're not going to see a fight for the lead today. They're saving that for the season itself. How good of them. How good of them to make us wait. Because that's what we want to do. We want to wait for things to happen in this league. I'm trying to hype that up, but I don't think it's going to be really easy to hype that type of thing up. I mean, we are seeing Sparks showing good speed, though. I mean, we saw Sparks, he won Austria, of course, last season, season 25. Could this be maybe a season where he breaks through and starts challenging for the title? Yeah, I'm sorry about this, JP. Quality of the stream is horrendous. My Wi-Fi is having problems, I guess. It's differing quite a lot, and I know if you're looking at this on a massive television, I'm assuming it's going to look shocking, but again, we'll have it sorted. And I'm not getting sacked. I'm not getting sacked. Listen, I'm not. People look at their jobs for worse, I'm sure. You're evaluating my. What I'm doing, I'm evaluating my Wi-Fi to see if it's good enough to do 1080p. There's only one way to find out, you know, and we're finding out that no, it's not. So we find that out now. So now we don't have to worry. We've evaluated that 720p from the future. Lonnie and Thomas fighting for P14. Lonnie coming out on top there. Let's have a look at the gap to the leader then, see where everyone is. Obviously we've got two AlphaTauris right at the back. They might be the ones who aren't getting particularly nice spots. And really, it's quite a big spread. At the minute I'd maybe be saying sort of definitely top 4 F1 pace and proving it. They're doing very well. Gale was third but has fallen back a bit. He was overtaken by 2 cars. We'll see how that sort of works out for him. Maybe he has better TTs, or if the other evaluation races for no assist don't go too well. Maybe for some. He was in F1 last season. He was a rookie there. He won the F2 title, I think, didn't he? Or at least he was runner-up. I think he was runner-up actually. It was Toxic Tomato won F2. So he's certainly got experience in the top tier, but maybe he needs to find just a little bit more pace at the moment. It's just, that's the problem. Only 20 spots in the top tier, and when 311, I think, people is sign up, difficult to fit them all in. But here's Simon looking to try and put himself in the top 5. And yeah, Gil, well, he's got to hope for his own sake that he's able to defend this one. He should be okay because Simon's got no real ERS to use, and Gil will have DRS and someone who hasn't even got DRS in the first place in Nuremberg. And you can see there, Feynman late on the brakes, close, but not close enough to make a move. Sparks 2 seconds off Danny now. Danny, well, they're both sort of regularly, they're equal ERS effectively. So you'd say they're running at the same sort of ERS strategy, but Sparks is just not quite keeping up here, unfortunately. For him, that's a shame. It is a shame, as Gil goes a bit wide. Does Feynman decide to go for a risky one? I mean, there's no damage. You could front at the inside. Might not look too favourable for yourself, but you can almost sort of barge your way through if you want. But he's decided to sit it out, wait a moment, come back and take him later on. Gil is almost outside the ARS range, and I think ARS is being, or DRS range I should say. I think ARS is being used for Feynman, but he's fallen under the 10% threshold for full power to be unleashed. You can still use overtake here, but only about half the power. And Feynman has to wait, as Gil, just about an ARS, a DRS, sorry. He fell right outside the gap, but luckily was within a second before we did that. That's going to frustrate Feynman a little bit there. He was sort of hoping he can see all these live gaps. Should point out, see all these live gaps that I'm seeing right now, the drivers can see them all for themselves, for the 5 cars around them. So say we're on board with Feynman. So what he'll see the gap to Gil and to Nürnberg, and then he'll see the gap to Liam and Luke, and he'll be in the middle. So it shows 5 gaps at a time. That's how that works. So that's what they're seeing. So they'll be able to look at that and think, oh, he's outside of DRS zone. Get in there, fantastic. And you'll be able to see that fluctuate live, which is very useful indeed for them. And yeah, I'm liking that. It means you can keep tabs of people as well. Say you're Danny, you're in the lead, you're thinking, oh, what a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm having the best race on F1 2020 so far. Probably his only race as well, but yeah, still. And you can look at the 5 behind and say, okay, none of them are making any ground on Sparks, and Sparks isn't making any ground on me, which means I am safe for now. And so he can feel nice and comfortable. I like that, instead of just having to wait every sector. Feynman, no, he'll be looking at that and begging for Gil to fall outside the 1 second gap. It seems that Nürnberg was much better in the first sector on the last lap, and you can see the gap fluctuating, and ARS is doing that. And I don't think Gil is going to fall outside the 1 second gap at the moment on this lap. Nah, he's not going to. Geordie, though, is on the back of Luke, who has got no cars ahead of him for 3.3 seconds. And this could well be an opportunity to overtake. How is everyone liking the onboard cameras? I know it's a bit grainy and differing, but I hope you're liking these, because I, again, gotta reiterate, spent way too long trying to make these. And, yeah, I'd like to be told they're good. Let's see then, will Geordie go for move? Because you can see that the fight there for P5 or for P4, that might just hold off for a bit. P8 though is up for grabs for Geordie. Here he goes. Should be pretty effortless, this one, with ARS and DRS working together to put him clear into P8. Easy does it. And Super Mario on the back of Dark Bolt. Puma has fallen way off this, you can see how far back he is. But Dark Bolt certainly still seeing Super Mario in his wing mirrors. And just being a bit cautious, making sure he doesn't get anything wrong, doesn't want to be overtaken, of course. Only the 6 laps to go now, actually. This is starting to fly by. And, yes, it does feel a bit processional, this one, but it is for evaluation purposes. You know, there should be a massive disclaimer on this. This is not a proper race. This is to make sure these guys are capable of racing when they're put in a proper grid. Which is why I'm probably going to get sacked. Saying that, don't want to tempt fate. This could be my last. Now, this is interesting. I'm not too sure if it's a glitch or not. But let me just check here. Oh no, it is a glitch, because 24 laps on mediums isn't possible in a 22 lap race, is it? Especially when it's on lap 18. I'm just wondering if Lack's tyres are counting 2 per 1 lap. Because he would have pitted on lap 5 or something like that. Lap 5 or 6. And I'm just wondering if this is going to tick over to 26. Well, that's going to tick into the wall. But that's an odd one. That's an odd glitch, isn't it? Could you imagine that on Monaco? Or, well yeah, Monaco's got the most laps on the calendar. You just 70 odd laps on a set of tyres. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see, is this going to go up by 2? It's interesting to see that, because that's something you've got to keep an eye on. Because if it happens in a league race, you're going to You're going to have to be on top of that as Luke gets back by Geordie. Yeah, it's going up 2 per lap. So, yeah, something to note down there for everyone. Lax tires are not 26 laps old, they're actually 13 laps old. It's just counting up 2 per lap. So certainly mention that to a few of the guys because they'll be interested in that. Luke has got a penalty. He had just got by Geordie. Now, I am not sure if this is true, but okay, thank goodness for that. It does show penalties probably. Danny does have a penalty, and that might be why he's pulling away, because Sparks doesn't have a penalty. So, what I was saying that Danny would be sitting country thinking, easy win. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's pushing, and maybe that's why Sparks hasn't kept up with him. Maybe he's just, you know, decided one lap, right, I'm going, and he's gone. And Sparks hasn't quite expected it. But they are running relatively similar pace, so it feels like they're both pushing it to the end. Because obviously, Sparks will have been able to ask Jeffrey on the radio, what penalties has the car ahead got, please? He's got 3 seconds of time penalties. And he'll be taking that encouragement and saying, okay, just got to save in 3 seconds then. Again, I'm not too sure this would affect Danny's placement in F1. He's absolutely nailed on for it. It would just certainly mean that Sparks, that's a very good sign to win the first race. But that's if he does that. Let's just not tempt fate now. 4 laps to not get a penalty and to not lose 1 single second. Not that hard, is it? You'd hope. Oh god, I can see my own stream. I can see how bad that looks. I'm really sorry about that. I'm looking at this on an iPhone screen, right? And it's not even on full screen. Let's see this on full screen. Oh, that's not good. Right. Absolutely, definitely never using this again. Did you notice internet is meant to hit like 70 megs per minute or second? Not, well, maybe it is doing 70 per minute. Maybe that's the problem. Per second. You wouldn't think it, would you? You just wouldn't think it. So I'm really sorry about that. At least it's consistent though. At least we haven't lagged out or anything. That would be really awkward. But I think that's Bugatti getting a penalty there, wasn't it? Let me just quickly check. Let's just keep tabs on this, because Sparks has 3 warnings. One of those, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be at all surprised that was actually for contact. Juice hasn't got a penalty either, but I mean, probably will find himself not getting in too much. Danny, you can see how consistent his lap times are, by the way. That is incredible. Every lap from 13 has been within 2/10 of each other. Apart from lap 17, which was in the 44.6 range. Very nice. You can see where he pulled away as well to make the 2-second gap on Sparks. So that's just something you gotta point at, you gotta look at. And yeah, you can see Sparks is doing relatively similar times. That's just something you gotta look at there. That's what they'll be looking at. Connor will be saying that and thinking, that's fantastic. That'll be what he's doing for all the drivers, I guess. But yeah, very consistent. Now, what is consistent as well is that there's absolutely nothing happening in this fight. The DRS train does appear to be really bad. Really bad. Oh. Oh, kill me. Yeah, I know, quality's not that great. I think next time, I'm streaming the next one, next Monday at 8. So what I'll do then, I will change it to 720p, 60 frames, because it's not the 60 frames that's the problem. It's just maybe too high quality. And I'll use LAN cable, so. Hold my hands up. Thought I could trust my Wi-Fi. Can't trust it. Thank goodness I don't pay for it. I really should actually get my own router. That could solve the problem. Anyway, Thomas gets a penalty. He's down there in 15th. 30 lap old tyres in a 20 lap race so far. That's incredible stuff there from Lack. Dear. Danny, 2.2 seconds clear. It's just not enough at the moment. Sparks is doing all he's needing to do right now to take this evaluation race. Lack gets a penalty, which is no surprise on 30 lap old tyres. Looks to me like we've got potential for some late race fighting. If these guys fancy fighting, would be good. Would be nice. I've tried to fill the time very well here, people, but it would be very useful to see a fight. I haven't even made a single joke about this car yet. So clearly I haven't got too bored. There's been plenty to talk about, but... Racing Point behind Mercedes. X on their name, which is just annoying. Do you know what I didn't do? Helmet review. Don't know why. It's a retired item. Mainly because they got rid of most of the helmet designs. As you might notice, pretty much everyone's got a variation of the same helmet. It's not very creative anymore. Cody's really got him messed up. Like that's 3 cars in a row with the same helmet. It just suited the car. You know? I mean, how exciting is that? Oh, Sparks has got a penalty. And that's going to cost him the victory here. He had it in his hands with just 1 lap to go at the end of this one. I'm pretty sure, though, that Danny is 1 more warning away from a second penalty, which could just give Sparks a chance. But he's taken a penalty on lap 21 out of 22. And that, well, he might not know, maybe he does know it, is costing the win. There's nothing he can do now. There's absolutely nothing he can do. All he can do is stay within that 3-second gap and hope. Final lap here of evaluation race 5, grid 1. First one, no assists because it's number 1. Even though it started after the second one, but still. And it's Danny in Antonio Giovinazzi's car. He's going to be heading towards victory. I have it out, he's going to be heading to Pouillon's barriers. A bit like Giovinazzi did last year on the final lap. Mind you, Sparks' car was in the wall on lap 1 last year in the race, so maybe not the best way to reference it. This car was 3rd, wasn't it? That day. Where did it all come from? We didn't finish in the race. Sorry, that's just not relevant. Well, actually saying that, we have got Norris's car there in P5. What's happened to him on the last lap in Belgium last season, you know? Gotta look at the omens, that's all I'm saying. But, yes. Danny hasn't spun, hasn't found himself deep in the Aramco barriers. They're an oil company, did you know? Apparently the biggest company in the world, according to Aramco, where energy is opportunity made from oil, which is probably the least sustainable thing you could imagine. But hey, F1, we lost sustainability. Ha 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 ha! We didn't think about this one at all. We've seen an overtake there. I think Darkbolt's tires might be starting to go a tad. This will be gets to the line. But here comes Danny. It's going to be a successful evaluation race for him. Up until a lap ago, he was going to finish 2nd, but thanks to Sparks' penalty, Danny's penalty is null and void. As he comes to the line, Danny wins the evaluation race here in Belgium. Sparks will be kicking himself with that one. He should have won it, but he got a penalty on the penultimate lap. Juiced up to the line, finishes P3. Wernberg in P4 and the fast lap for boot. That's a nice one for him. He'll like that. Gill in P5, Liam in 6th with 5 minutes penalties. Luke is going to come up to the line to finish 8th, and then Jordy 9th. Super Mario will be 10th, and I'm wondering if Darkbolt's tires have given in. Let's see. Well, have they? Hard to tell from that angle. It doesn't really matter. He finished 11th anyway. Jordy and Super Mario swap positions. Lonnie, 12th, Bugatti, Puma. It's 15th now. Thomas in 14th. We're going to have Lack and then Piablo. And this will be 36 laps on a set of tyres. Absolutely incredible. Obviously, not really 36 laps, but still, it's amusing anyway. And yes, let's just see Danny then. He is your winner for the evaluation race. And I'm straight away going to tell Connor, yeah, got string low quality. No, we'll get a driver of the day thing here. Who's going to get the driver of the day? The game decides now. We don't have to do it anymore. It's Darkbolt who reversed across the line. Okay. Look at that dancing man. Sadly, they're practicing like the glitch where you lose your head / lose your body on the podium. So that's a shame. But, yes. That is the first evaluation race. Let's see how everyone gets on then in the position change. Top 4 all stay the same, that's a bit worrying. So the 6th stay the same, 7th and 5th just swap positions. 9th only went up to 8th. Super Mario went up 3 places, that's impressive. Quite why he didn't get driver today then is beyond me, because I mean, through the Dark Ball, but look at the position changes, man. He didn't even get top 10 Dark Ball. Jordy went from 8th to 10th, and then obviously Dark Ball 14th to 11th. Lonnie down 2 to 12th. Pagadi up 2 to 13th. Thomas down 1 to 14th. Puma down 4 to 11th. Then Lack up 1 and Piablo down 1. And that is the first evaluation race. I can't lie, I'm a bit disappointed in how little racing we got, and I don't know. I'm not convinced with racing on this game being particularly interesting, but luckily I'm a very interested man. Child. No, I'm not a child anymore. People keep thinking I'm a child. Can we just put this to bed? I'm 18 years old. Just thought I'd put that out there. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Thank you all for watching. I should be back next week, as long as Connor doesn't fire me for having poor internet. Nothing I could have really done about that one. But yeah, that is the first evaluation race. Danny the winner, Sparks second, Juice third, that's your podium. And very competitive lap times across the board, must be said. Everyone nice and close. So that's good to see. Cheers for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go now, and what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna go listen to Janet Devlin. She's great. It's not even Sonic music. I'm listening to something that isn't Sonic